The Southern African Development Community Parliamentary Forum has officially kicked off its 58th plenary assembly in Durban. Held under the theme, The Impact of Climate Change on Women and Youth in the SADC region and the Role of Parliaments in Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation, the 5-day deliberations will see a number of speakers and MPs from 15 SADC member parliaments.
If you look at the SADC region in particular, you will find that women and youth is particularly vulnerable, and that the threats of displacement and forced, like people call it forced migration, but I call it displacement, and also the fact that in the region, or in Africa in particular, on the continent, you'll find that smallholder farmers and those that are particularly responsible for food security in families become women.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Thoko Didiza, says hosting the event in KwaZulu-Natal is meant to be a learning opportunity on the adverse impact of climate change. The province is vulnerable to floods that continue to claim lives, damage critical infrastructure, and displace thousands of families.
Actually, it was deliberate that SADC decided that in hosting, they requested South Africa to host it in KwaZulu-Natal because of what KwaZulu-Natal has experienced, and therefore it serves as a site for learning for all of us to firstly look at what was the impact, what was its extent in terms of the wide area that was affected and the people that were affected, the infrastructure that was affected, both social and economic infrastructure.
Didiza also says effective strategies are needed going forward.
For instance, one of the things that we are looking at effectively is how, as parliamentarians, as public representatives, using our constituency office, but also during constituency periods, how do we factor this as part and parcel of our conversations with our communities that we represent? But secondly, when we look at the policies of our respective departments, how do we scrutinize whether those policies, those plans, annual plans and budgets take into consideration the issues of climate change?
Didiza urges parliaments to work with communities to ensure that recommendations on how to deal with climate change are implemented. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Silethiwe Ndlovu in Durban.